Had it been diagnosed earlier, there is a possibility that it may have been controlled just by way of oral medication and not reached the extremities that it did. I was diagnosed in August 2010, so nearly 13 years ago. My daughter was 8 months old at the time. I'd had long-term consultant care. I'd been deemed to have high-risk pregnancies due to long-term steroid use for underlying rheumatology problems. My previous pregnancies had ended very badly, including a stillbirth, and I was very much consultant-led throughout the pregnancies. I became very ill after she was born. The consultants put it down to a rheumatology flare, and I was prescribed medication on that basis. I was put on methotrexate, but my symptoms deteriorated, and I had test after test. I had ECGs, blood tests. One of the consultants noticed that I had put on 3 pounds in weight in a day and requested an echo. And basically all hell broke loose. People were running through the hospital to get my respiratory consultant. I subsequently saw the echo results, which were severe for every heading. I was informed that I had pulmonary hypertension and pulmonary fibrosis, and at that point was told that I would have no more than 10 years to live. A few days later, I had full-blown stage 4 heart failure, and I was advised that there was a likelihood I would be dead by Christmas, so within 3 months. I was put on the IV medication. I'd been transferred to a hospital in London. I was accepted onto Papworth's list the day before my daughter's first birthday, and I remained on the list for the next 37 months. I was on 24/7 oxygen for several months. Over time, the water retention caused by the heart failure was controlled, and the IV line was removed, and I was just placed on solely oral medication rather than dual therapy. And eventually my lungs stabilised, obviously at a very poor level, but I'm here 13 years after diagnosis. The journey to diagnosis was difficult because I didn't fit into a box. It was very difficult. You started to doubt yourself. You thought, is this just as a result of the pregnancy history, the stress of the pregnancy? The pregnancy was probably one of the worst that it could have been, because obviously it followed a loss at 8 months. And I'm sure that a lot of people thought that what I was describing was just in my head. I believe that had I been diagnosed earlier, I would not have had heart failure, because medication could have controlled it. And by having the heart failure, I spent a month away from an 8-month-old baby and had an IV line put in, which in turn really impacted on my ability to care for my child. I couldn't do the normal mum things with taking her for a walk or lifting her onto a swing, and I just can't remember I can't remember the bulk of her first year of life. If I had to describe everything in just one word, it would be just devastation. I lost time with my child that I will never get back, and I know that I have a limited time in relation to her future. I can't recall a lot of her milestones, and part of her childhood was taken from me.